80s. Overnight will fall into the upper 50s and lower 60s tomorrow. Highs will be even warmer. Some areas will be flirting with record highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Summertime is back. It looks like it's right now 7:05 and 62 degrees, warming up today to 83, 84 by tomorrow. Now the weekend looks pretty nice as well. Some wind's still going to be a factor and some warm temperatures, but summertime must be arriving. I hear it knocking on the door. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second hour of 3 of the morning wake-up call. We'll get to the phone calls here in a few moments and find out what's been happening around the neighborhood with our news report. Right now, though, I have these death announcements. Donald Wilson Arrowood Sr., age 78, of Shingle Hollow, died Tuesday at a hospice house of the Carolina Foothills. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 this evening at McMahon's funeral home. The funeral service will be at Second Baptist of Rutherfordton at 2 o'clock Thursday, April 29th. Burial will be at Shingle Hollow Holiness Church Cemetery. McMahon's funeral home and cremation services in charge of those arrangements for Donald Wilson Arrowood Sr. Jerry Kimbrell Henson, age 78, of Rutherfordton, died Friday. The funeral service will be held 11 o'clock Saturday in the Holly Springs Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8, Friday, April 30th, at the Paget and King Mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory, serving the family of Jerry Kimbrell Henson. Cecil Alexander Green, infant son of Alan Green Jr. and Kada Lynn Green Morrow of Forest City, died Sunday, April 25th at Mission Hospital in Nashville. The family will receive friends from 3 until 5 Thursday, April 29th at Spindale Fellowship Holiness Church. A private graveside for the family will be conducted at the church cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Cecil Alexander Green. Bobby Ray Connor, age 76, of Forest City, passed away Monday. A memorial service will be conducted at 6 o'clock today at the Element Church. The family will receive friends following the service at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Bobby Ray Connor. Betty Lynn Moore Hollifield, 81, of Bostic, died Friday, April 23rd. A memorial service will be conducted at 5 o'clock today on the grounds of Sunshine United Methodist Church. And Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services is serving the family of Betty Lynn Moore Hollifield. Bobby Eugene Burrell, age 87, of Forest City, died Saturday. At his request, no formal services are planned. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory will be in charge of serving the family of Bobby Eugene Burrell of Forest City. Lee Ivy Twitty died Wednesday, April 21st. Services will be private, and Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services will be serving the family of Lee Ivy Twitty. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report on WCAB. Most information for the Foothills. Well, the Braves had a good night again last night over the Cubbies. They beat them 5-0, 5-zip. That's 2 in a row for the Braves over the Cubbies. They'll play again this evening. First pitch about 7:20. We'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6 o'clock. Right now it's time for the Rush Limbaugh Morning Update.
Okay, a bunch of liberal groups, including the ACLU, are accusing ICE of targeting immigration activists, not just illegal immigrants. Because in over 20 cases, ICE arrested or fined the activists. And they complained the agency only found out about them because of their activism. Now, one of the offended activists told NPR, "We're always at the marches and we're giving interviews without fear of what could happen to us." He says that ICE going against activists is a way to intimidate the whole community. Some groups are now suing ICE, claiming to be victims of this targeting. ICE says, no, we're not targeting activists. We're targeting everybody who violates immigration law, and they are subject to arrest and deportation. So let's summarize. Individuals enter America illegally. They form groups, join with others who entered America illegally, and then they decide to go public. They go on TV, radio, have their names splashed all over the drive-by media to advocate that others who broke the law get away with it. And finally, when ICE shows up to arrest them, they start whining and moaning to the media that they're being targeted. Not only do they want sympathy, they want to cash in with a lawsuit against the Americans who enforce our laws. If this weren't so brazenly asinine, it would be almost funny. But when it comes to arresting activists, I'm all for it. Put them all in jail and shut them up, because frankly, I'm tired of hearing about them.
Hey, Buck Sexton here, a familiar voice to many of you, having guest hosted this program for Rush many times before. Gold has been a measure of wealth throughout history, and with good reason. Gold has never been worth zero. Well, guess what? Now you can have real gold and silver as part of your wealth, either in your retirement accounts or delivered securely to your home by working with the Oxford Gold Group. This is the industry leader in precious metals and the only gold and silver company I trust. Oxford Gold Group will beat any competitor's price on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. If you want to get financial stability, you need to look into acquiring real gold and silver with the Oxford Gold Group. Call Oxford today at 833-404-GOLD. Don't gamble with your hard-earned money. Put your money into something solid, safe, and secure. Call the Oxford Gold Group at 833-404-GOLD and get your free investment guide right now. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590 AM may be good for your health. Positive, family-friendly radio for the foothills.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, well, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in North Carolina, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
He kept bears as pets, yet in 1 year alone he supposedly killed 105 of them. He was a friend to the Indians, but he was known to scout more than his share of them. He was a frontiersman in buckskins. He was also a member of the United States Congress. Was this man a schizophrenic? No, he's just one of our early American heroes. Born to a poor family in 1786, at the age of 12, he ran away from home to avoid being spanked. And from there, the life of Davy Crockett became legend. Settling down in Tennessee, Davy supposedly devastated the bear population. He also killed mountain lions with a knife. Assisting Andrew Jackson, he assured victory in the Creek War of 1817. In 1827, this frontiersman dressed in buckskins and coonskin hat went to Washington as a member of the House of Representatives. But these accomplishments alone wouldn't have served to make Davy Crockett the icon he is today. What Did It was a New York play that opened on April 25, 1831, 125 years before Walt Disney and Fess Parker made their movies and television shows about him. The play was called The Lion of the West. The hero was a frontiersman named Colonel Nimrod Wildfire. Colonel Wildfire was a thinly disguised, highly exaggerated portrayal of Davy. The play was followed 2 years later with a biography entitled Sketches and Eccentricities of Colonel David Crockett of West Tennessee. People really didn't care that it was more fiction than fact, for Davy Crockett, like Paul Bunyan, was symbolic of a young, growing, dynamic country. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now it's 17 minutes after 7 on this Wednesday morning. Let's get to the phones to find out what's been happening around our county in the past 24 hours or so. And Deputy Greenway is on the phone now from the Sheriff's Department to give us that update. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing good, thanks. Tell us what's been going on in the past 24 hours.
Okay, in the past 24 hours, we've responded to 136 calls for service. We've made 13 arrests, and there's currently 138 in the jail. With our arrest reports, Destiny England was arrested for possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver a Schedule II controlled substance. Dion Cash was arrested for failure to appear on a felony and a misdemeanor. James Alexander was arrested for failure to appear on felony and misdemeanor. Thomas Green was arrested for breaking and entering and felony larceny. Brandon Burgess was arrested for felony probation violations, failure to appear on misdemeanor. Joshua Adam Price was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And Leanne Craig was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. We've got an incident report reported by Mia Bradley for identity theft and obtaining property by false pretense, and that completes the morning report.
Deputy Greenway, we thank you for that, and you be safe out there today.
Thank you very much.
See you. Bye-bye. 911 Communications Center report is next.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Well, the Braves had two good nights now against the Cubs. They beat them Monday night 8-7. Last night they shut them out 5-0. They have two more games with them this series, and we'll see what happens tonight as they play the Cubbies again tonight right here. Here is Amanda now with our report from 911 Communications Center. Amanda, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report from the past 24?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 494 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 56 for emergency medical services and 17 for rescue, 136 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 57 for Forest City, 7 for Lake Lure, 66 for Rutherford, and 48 for Spindale. Forest City Fire Department had a motor vehicle crash and a structure fire. Hudlow had a crash, and Spindale had a motor vehicle crash, and that's all.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, Don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Anyone who is looking for a secure entry-level job in manufacturing in around Rutherford County, here's good news. AZP is holding a job fair and would love to hire entry-level production operators. This job fair for AZP is May 13th from 3 until 7 at the NC Works Rutherfordton office at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. AZP, a reputable company, is offering competitive pay and benefits. Starting wages is $16.25 an hour with available overtime, the ability for internal promotions, health, dental, vision, life insurance, retirement plans, and paid time off. It's an excellent benefit package, and top pay scale could be yours. Find out more when you attend the AZP Job Fair, May 13th from 3 until 7. It'll be at NC Works office in Rutherfordton at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. Now let's check with the SDO Fire District. Here's Ruby Taylor to give us the news. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on that news?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I got Karen Marr and Chris Glover having birthdays. Hope they have a nice day. And the sun and the fires today and tomorrow, Jim. That's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your Wednesday.
You too.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Gary Wilson is up next from the Fairfield Mountains Fire District and looking over Bills Creek community as well. Gary Wilson, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. We just about got this week wrapped up, don't we? This whole month,
tell you
as a matter of fact.
Got some nice weather out of it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be the same thing today and tomorrow. Sounds like maybe a little warmer today than it was yesterday. We were 83 yesterday, and sitting about 58 this morning. And we had one call for just a tree in the road, had to get out, and then Bills Creek ran a medical call, and that's the only calls in our area that I'm aware of the last 24 hours. So it's been fairly quiet, but things are greening out now. It's looking like summertime.
Oh, it does, yeah.
And maybe a little cooler this weekend, but nothing bad, so that'll be good.
The bumblebees are buzzing now, and hummingbirds
They're
are
doing that,
back.
but they're flying around everywhere now. They're getting ready for all the good vegetables and fruit and everything coming in, and pollinate them blooms and give them something to eat this summer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But other than that, I think we're good to go up here this morning, Jim.
Thanks, Gary. Enjoy your day.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. For those of you who travel up to Asheville by way of I-26, there's a bridge coming down over I-26 coming down in Henderson County, and they've detoured traffic in that area. A contractor for the North Carolina Department of Transportation will begin removing the old bridge on Clear Creek Road over I-26, 8 p.m. last night. This operation requires I-26 West to be closed today and tonight from US 64 extension 49 to US 25 business exit 44. Overnight drivers will be detoured from Hendersonville to Fletcher via US 64 to US 25. That'll be opened back up soon. The old bridge on Brookside Camp Road is the next on the schedule, with removal tentatively starting the night of Monday, May 3rd. A lot of you travel 26 up through that way, so I wanted to let you know to be aware of that, and maybe some detours will be in your way coming up. This is Bob Hodge on the radio now from Hudlow Fire District. Bob, good morning.
Well, good hump day morning.
You feeling good today?
We're doing just fine up here this morning there. You looking good this morning?
Well, thank you. Feeling pretty good, too. It's summertime and All is right with the world. I wish I could say that to be true.
That's right there. I tell you, it feels like summertime here the next day or so. But we enjoy this pretty sunshiny weather there. And Jim, up here with the fire department, we answered one vehicle accident call on Whiteside Road, just property damage only. And I want to say happy birthday to Steve Midcase this morning. And other than that, things are going along good so far this morning up here, and maybe it'll stay that way all day today.
Sounds like it's going to be a good day to be around, so I hope things are quiet, Bob, and we'll check back in with you next time to see if it is quiet. You have a good day.
Oh, you have a good day and take care.
All right, Bob, thanks.
Bye-bye.
7:26, and we have 62 degrees right now. When you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more, and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during the spring checkup for the special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green book online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 spring special is for a limited time. Cherry Mountain Fire District is our next stop, and that's Sue Price's place. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Everything well with you?
Everything's well. It's a beautiful morning over here. The sun's coming up. Birds are at the feeder, and everything seems to be going good out there.
Good.
And let's see, I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my calendars today. And the only announcement I have is Memorial Day at First Broad Baptist Church, Sunday, the 2nd. Guest singers will be the Golden Valley Crusaders. That's at 11 a.m. So all the Memorial Days are starting up, and it'll be through the month of May and part of June. So all the churches are looking forward to that, I'm sure, and I'm glad it's a little bit better than it was last year at this time.
Yeah, the weather seems to be cooperating pretty good, too, for these homecomings. So far, so good.
I know. Yesterday was a nice day, and we had dentist appointments, so we got to go out a little bit and be outside, and it was nice. And I guess that's all I got this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm. If any of the churches have announcements, I'd be glad to put them on for them, but so far that's the only one I've had, and it's just a quiet time over here, and looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks very much, Sue. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, candy baked potatoes, $18 for 50 pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal Tissue and Paper Towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmer's Friend Feed City and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. Right across the road here from WCAB. If you can't stop when you stop over there, when you come out of the driveway, just toot at us. We'll know you're here. It's time now to go to Shingle Hollow, North Carolina, US of A. Here's Tina White on the phone to give us the news from up there. Tina, good morning.
Good morning from Shingle Hollow.
How are you?
Well, I'm okay, except for these allergies. It's made my voice a little strange.
I can identify with that.
Oh, it's bad up here in Shingle Hollow. I've seen several people with runny noses and coughing, and hopefully this rain that's coming will help them wash them away, some of the pollen.
I hope so too.
It's 60 degrees up here this morning. Isn't that amazing how this temperature goes from one extreme to the other? And it is a very pleasant morning outside. Winds hadn't picked up yet, but I know probably will in a little while. No birthdays on Piney Knob or Pleasant Grove's birthday calendar. For Shingle Hollow, fire department, they had one fire investigation, and I haven't heard from Green Hill this morning, so I'll probably hear from them a little bit later and tell you about it tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's quiet and peaceful up here and calm, and we're just fighting allergies.
Oh, keep on keep on fighting. They'll be with us for a while. I don't know any cure from it other than move to the beach.
Yeah, and then the price is the cost of living is a little bit higher at the beach.
Yeah, that's right. You have to watch for those big old waves too that come in on the beach.
The hurricanes that come in. Okay, well, everybody have a good, safe day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, Tina.
Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning with this Wednesday morning Colorado News Report, and we'll get up to Union Mills in just a moment.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Our next reporter on the radio this morning is Brenda Kelly from Union Mills. Brenda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this wonderful Wednesday?
Well, I can tell by listening to you got allergies too.
I've had them. I ain't never had them this bad. This is going on about, 5 or 6 weeks. Gosh, it's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We just have to weather through it, don't we?
Well, I guess. I don't know any other thing. Well, there's allergy medicines, but I don't know. I don't like to get involved in all that. But mine's leveled off a little bit. I'm still get a little hoarse and eyes itching water, but mine's not as bad right now as it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, mine got better and then it got worse, so I don't know. I was looking at Channel 13, and I believe it's supposed to be real bad all the way through tomorrow. And it was the oak trees and something else that was coming out that was causing so much problems with allergies as far as that goes.
Oh, yeah.
I said, but we have to have the pollen in order for everything to germinate, to reproduce, don't we?
That's true.
So,
we have to take the bad with the good, I guess.
That's right. So this too shall pass.
It will. When we're stepping in about 2 feet of snow this winter, we'll say, boy, where's that pollen?
Well, I'm like Lou. I like the snow.
I like it when it comes and goes.
Yeah, it's pretty, and it's so pretty falling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we hope everybody's having a good day. Let's see, I've got 52 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries, and in ways of announcements, Jacktown Ramblers will be at the Union Mills Learning Center on May the 7th. A meal begins at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And then the music starts at 7 p.m., and there's no cost for that, but you do have a tip jar for the band. And other than that, I don't have nothing. It's just short, sweet, and quiet up here, and that's how we like it.
Is that Jacktown Ramblers?
Yeah, Jacktown Ramblers.
I like that name.
They have some weird names for bands. We got the next one to be 33 and a third band.
33 and a third band. Well, I guess that gets people's attention.
Yeah, I was looking at them and I thought, my goodness, where did they come up with these names? We got one that's winging it.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah,
it's I don't know how they come up with it. Well, Jacktown, that may be where they're, could be a small place where they're from, like Union Mills. We could have Union Mills Band, or something.
Yeah.
You never know. But 33 and a third, wasn't that a record at one time?
It was. Yeah, it was a long play album, 33 and a third, with 45s and 33 and the thirds.
See,
that may be where
we're
that's
telling
coming.
our age.
Nostalgia. I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a frog level ensemble.
Well, they should, and I hate that they changed that to Oakland. I thought Frog Level. I just love that name.
I was attention together. They'd be talking about that on national news. It was brought to us here just to see Frog Level, North Carolina.
Yeah, and they changed it to Oakland, and I thought, well, Frog Level. I thought that was unique.
It is. It was unique. I wonder where the Frog Level came from.
I have no idea. Well, and that's like Sandy Mush.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two or three stories about Sandy Mush, but
we don't know. But
listen,
they changed it to Oakland.
You have a wonderful day up there.
You have a good one. We'll catch you later.
See you, Brenda. Okay. Brenda Keller reporting in from Union Mills this morning. 7:37 right now. We get over to Ellenboro with our report from there in just a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Luther Gilligan, what you know good this morning?
Me and you, best thing I know.
There you go. I agree.
Can't get any better than me.
But the fire department's quiet.
Can't do much. They don't know a whole lot. It's a good morning down here. We're having a good time this morning. It's quiet, nothing going on. Fire department been have everything all day and all night, so everything's quiet down on the eastern end of the county. Everybody just getting their biscuits or gas, they're heading on out to work. Get this middle of the weekday over and be on the downhill side again. But let's see nothing going on there, except we're still getting ready for our yard sale coming up Saturday morning. So everyone wants to have a yard sale in your own yard. It's going to be town-wide. Sponsored by the Warmers Club. Set up in your yard. If you don't want to set up in your yard, come on out on Depot Street and set up out there. If you don't want to set up, come on out and see what you can buy. Meet your friends, talk to them. And Jim, nothing else going on down here. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, my friend. Have a good one.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye. And you can catch the Ellenboro Report most afternoons, too, with Kevin. And the afternoon report, call-in report, every Monday through Friday. The call-around report in the mornings, Monday through Saturday. So stay tuned. Stay in touch with the county with our reports. 7:39 now. It's time for birthdays and anniversaries on this 28th day of April. 28th of April, you having a birthday, call that in to us at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'd love to give you a big shout-out right now. One of these days, who knows, we may start giving away those donuts again real soon. We may just sneak up on you and say, smile, we're giving donuts away, but not this morning. We'll do that soon, real soon, real soon, real soon. 7:40, birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and member of the SIPC. Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy birthday.
I have one birthday today. It's Shirley Bright of Ellenboro. Shirley turns 82 today. So, Shirley, happy birthday. And thanks for letting us share your birthday here on the radio. Shirley Bright of Ellenboro. Happy birthday. Now stand by. Keys to Confident Living coming up. And then we've got some oldies music. Sort of let you know what we do other parts of the day. Some of that classic oldies that everyone loves and appreciates. We'll have some of that for you. All straight ahead here on WCAB's Morning Wake Up Call.
Brother of Jesus reminded the early church they were not to slander one another. The Apostle Paul tells a young pastor that he is to remind the people they must not speak evil of anyone, nor quarrel, but to be gentle and truly courteous to all. It is alleged that a person had told all around a story of moral failure of another Christian. However, after a little simple investigation, it was discovered that the story was not true at all. The talebearer went to the person involved and apologized, but the damage was already done. The offended person took a pillow of feathers and ripped it open. The feathers were then thrown into the wind. After this, the slanderer was asked to collect the feathers and put them back into the pillow. The person, however, protested that it was impossible, and so it was. The object of the illustration, of course, was to demonstrate that just as it is impossible to gather all the feathers scattered to the winds, so it is impossible to gather all the false stories that may be told. We indeed need to be careful when talking about others, and to be gentle and truly courteous to all. The golden rule is surely good advice, when speaking about others. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590 AM may be good for your health.
New member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of COBRA plans, for instance, and MediShare is the affordable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves $500 a month. You might save even more. MediShare is a Christian community that shares each other's healthcare costs, and because of the current economic situation, they're making it easier than ever. Apply by April 30th, and you can save an additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch like more than 400,000 people already have and start saving. Here it is. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
The Navy now says one of its ships had to fire warning shots at 3 Iranian boats that got a little too close to the Persian Gulf earlier this week. ABC Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
This is the second time this month that the Iranians have swarmed U.S. vessels. The U.S. Navy saying the Iranians are conducting aggressive, unsafe, harassing maneuvers without due regard for the safety of other vessels as required by international law. These two encounters, the first time Iranian boats have harassed the U.S. in over a year.
All of this as talks continue in Vienna to reinstate and reinsert the United States back into the Iran nuclear deal. A Texas man has died after being attacked by hundreds of bees. 70-year-old Thomas Hicks was mowing his lawn on Monday in Breckenridge, Texas, when he was swarmed and started getting stung over and over again. Fire Chief Calvin Cheney.
He got attacked outside. Yeah. He ran in the house, letting his wife know, hey, that's what's going on. When the bees followed him in.
He suffered a cardiac arrest. Experts say a tree in his yard had several hives inside, home to about 60,000 honeybees. A local beekeeper has now removed them. Walmart and Kanye West now at odds over a logo. The world's biggest retailer filing a challenge to the image of West's Yeezy brand is using. Walmart says looks way too much like its brand logo. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
When you get a hankering for lunch, remember Jesse James Railroad Express. They have a menu full of delicious items such as burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs, taco salads, and much, much more. Don't forget the refreshing drinks like milkshakes, Coke floats, or hand-dipped ice cream. They are now serving French fries and onion rings. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m., closed Wednesdays and Sundays. For takeout, give them a call at 828-447-4644, located at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Don't forget, Mondays only, 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions. That's Jesse James Railroad Express. All aboard!
A warming trend is in progress this week. We are going to see highs today, head into the mid to upper 80s. With strong winds moving in out of the southwest, it's going to be breezy at times. We are going to see a few clouds around to start, but expect partly cloudy conditions by the afternoon. Overnight will fall into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow will be warmer and windy, with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Some areas could get really close to the record high. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And we're still at 62 degrees. We started out there this morning, still there, and we'll be warming up to about 83 today, 84 tomorrow. And this weekend looks kind of nice, too. Saturday, mostly sunny with highs around 72 and just a light wind. And then mostly clear Saturday night. Sunday looks good, 77 and mostly sunny skies. Maybe a little bit of rain shower coming in here on Friday evening, but we'll see what happens later closer into that week. But right now, another beautiful summertime week here in the foothills. Deputy Greenway was on with us earlier, gave us the report from the Sheriff's Department. We'll have that again in just a few moments. We have some other news from here and there coming up right after these words.
Celebrate greater at Carolina West Wireless. Greater deals, greater savings, and greater ways to stay connected. Like $350 off the new iPhone 12. Love the device you already own? Bring it in when you switch and save $150. Plus, get 4 lines with unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. All on our powerful nationwide high-speed network. Stop by Carolina West Wireless and celebrate greater today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Well, unfortunately, our local celebrity on the popular television show The Voice ended his week, but not before he was able to perform several times for millions watching on television. Scott Carpenter did an article in the Courier about him, highlighting his success up to this point. The Rutherfordton resident performed tomorrow by Chris Young in the knockout round on Monday's episode, while his opponent, Kinsey Wheeler, sang "Beer Never Broke My Heart," a Luke Combs hit. Avery's team leader, celebrity judge Kelly Clarkson, ultimately chose Wheeler as the winner of the round, which sends him to the fourth and final phase of the show, which is the live performance. After the performances, each of the 4 celebrity judges, Clarkson, Blake Shelton, Nick Jonas, and John Legend, gave their opinions before Clarkson declared the winner of the round. Sheldon told Avery, "Every time you step on stage, you seem a little bit more comfortable. You're starting to let your voice do what it does, which is incredible." And they all say he is on the early platforms of a great success in the business if he'll stay to it. And he is supportive of all the local folks who supported him as well. He did a great job, and we salute him. Avery Robertson for representing his talent and representing Rutherford County so well. Winners in the live performance portion of The Voice are determined by television audience votes. The ultimate winner of The Voice receives a recording contract. Prior to the airing of Monday's episode, Avery posted a short video on his social media in which he said, "Thanks for all your support. It means the world to me." So he certainly has a lot of talent, and we're glad he has opportunity to display that talent to millions of listeners around the globe. So, Avery, keep up the good work and remain true to yourself and your talent. Don't let them persuade you to do something and be something that you're not. You got the talent as you are. Just build on that and grow from that. Well, the Daily Courier is also reporting about the Department of Public Instruction Superintendent coming to the county yesterday. Catherine Truitt was in the county visiting Rutherford County schools, teachers, administrators, and students. Truitt, who was sworn into office in January, has visited several school systems across western North Carolina recently to learn more about their challenges and success. Truitt's team included former Rutherford County Schools educator Julie Pittman, now serves as an advisor to Truitt for teacher engagement. After dining with the RCS leadership team Monday evening at the Firehouse Inn in Rutherfordton, Tuesday was a full day of visiting several schools. Truitt and her team participated in a principal engagement roundtable and lunch at Chase High School at 11 a.m. before touring the school. Truitt told the group, "I want to ask you 2 different things, what is working and what is not working." Fortunately, in Rutherford County, the technology was not new to us, Torvina said. He is the high school principal at East Rutherford, Tim Torvinen. The willingness to collaborate among our administrators, principals, and our teachers is working well. That and the fact that our school system is on top of technology. So it was good to have this high-level educator visiting our schools here in Rutherford County, as she is doing other places as well. Would love to have had an opportunity to get her on the radio while she was here, but did not know in time, but she was coming. Well, it looks like North Carolina is going to get another congressional seat based on the census, U.S. Census Bureau. North Carolina has grown enough over the last decade to earn a 14th congressional seat. The U.S. Census Bureau announced in a news release that seat will be contested during next year's 2022 congressional election. The announcement came as the U.S. Census Bureau completed data processing for the first 2020 census results. Its state population counts are used to apportion the 435 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives among the 50 states. As population increases or decreases in each state, the number of seats to represent it does change. So North Carolina was one of 5 states to pick up a seat, while Texas picked up 2. 7 states lost a congressional seat, including New York and California. Yes, they lost some seats. There's another liberal state or two that lost seats as well. Folks are moving out of those states by leaps and bounds, and their population is dwindling, so they lost some seats. States that have gained would be North Carolina, Florida, Texas. Let's see, there's some others. The 14 seats are the most the state has had. North Carolina had 13 seats in the House from 1813 to 1843, and again since 2003. So North Carolina now shows an overall population of 10.45 million people. The 2010 figure was 9.5 million. North Carolina remains the ninth most populous state and grew by 918,465 people, or 9.6%, between 2010 and 2020. North Carolina's growth outpaced the U.S. as a whole, which had a 7.4% population growth rate. People are loving North Carolina, so they're coming here. The General Assembly has sole authority over redistricting. The governor can neither sign nor veto redistricting maps. So North Carolina will also have 16 presidential electors, up from 15 beginning in 2024. The Electoral College is the group of presidential electors required by the U.S. Constitution to form every 4 years for the sole purpose of electing the president and vice president. Each state appoints electors equal in number to its congressional delegation. North Carolina has 8 Republican members of the U.S. House and 5 Democrats, after courts ordered new maps drawn for the 2020 election, beginning with elections in 2014 and again in 2016 and 2018. North Carolina elected 10 Republican members of the U.S. House and 3 members were Democrats. The 14th district, where is it going to be? People are asking. It could be possibly carved out of the Charlotte suburbs, including parts of Mecklenburg, Cleveland, and Gaston counties. But those decisions can't begin to take shape until county-by-county numbers are released late summer. House Speaker Tim Moore, among others, is rumored to be thinking of running for Congress. He is from Cleveland County. First elected to the General Assembly in 2002, Moore is serving his 4th term as presiding officer of the House. And he's the longest-serving Republican House Speaker in North Carolina history. With heavy population growth on North Carolina's southern coast, another possibility is that the 7th district could be more of a coastal district, with a new district taken in some of Wake County and perhaps anchored in Johnston. Nationally, Republicans are expected to make small gains through congressional redistricting. If the 2020 election were to be held again under the new appointment, Joe Biden would have had won with 303 electoral colleges votes rather than 306. The appointments has made Texas the big winner of 2 new congressional seats. Florida, North Carolina, Colorado, Montana, and Oregon all picked up 1 new member of Congress. Losing their congressional seat after a population drop, can you figure this? New York, California, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Folks are leaving New York City by leaps and bounds, and leaving California with the same measure. This is the first time California has ever lost a seat in the U.S. House due to a population decrease. Now, a lot of number of things probably causing that. Could be their governor out there, and plus the liberal mind of folks like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and some of those folks that are running things in Washington right now. They are from California. Well, how could the new congressional district impact the 11th district here, which is where part of Rutherford County is in the 11th. So the 14th seat means a 14th district in North Carolina in some ways. I just mentioned briefly, they're unsure at this point. It'll be left up to the North Carolina House. Western Carolina University political science professor Chris Cooper said it's unclear, though, where that district will be until more specific demographic and geographic census data is released. He suspects the new district will be one of the more populated metropolitan areas of the state, like Greensboro or Raleigh. It's probably not going to affect this area very much at all. But it'll soon be time to draw those maps and finalize. This means more current congressional candidates could be in a state of flux when it comes to campaigning. They may not know. Maybe they redraw that and take where Rutherford County is now split in half by the 5th and the 11th. Maybe they'll put us back together and put us in one or the other. I kind of like our Congressman, Virginia Fox, being in the 5th. Kind of like him. I haven't gotten acquainted too well with Cawthorn of the 11th, but I kind of like him too. Just one other word right quickly before we move on. Rutherford County Chamber Golf Tournament is taking place. I'm signing up here pretty soon. May 21st will be the date. You can sign up now to reserve your spot. Enjoy the beauty of the summer winds and the sun. And the Chamber is hosting a golf tournament May 21st at Cleghorn Golf Club. Contact the Chamber and get your sponsorship, or get your team together, and let them know you want to play in this tournament. Shotguns start at 12 noon, registration at 11 at Cleghorn. This is the date for the Chamber's annual Spring Classic Golf Tournament at Cleghorn, May 21st. They only have room for 36 teams, so register early.
WCAB would like to welcome a brand new business to Rutherford County, All Ray Tire Center in Forest City. These guys will be glad to take care of your vehicle needs and concerns. Of course, they carry tires, but they also specialize in oil changes, alignments, suspension, brake service. They also have a pickup and delivery service. When purchasing tires, they ask you to bring in the best prices, and they will beat it. Come by and let them prove it to you. Open Monday through Friday, 8 until 5, Saturdays, 8 until 12. That's All Ray Tire Center, 247 West Main Street in Forest City. Give them a call at 828-229-3246, your newest hometown tire store.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time, and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Whether you're buying or selling, downsizing or expanding, relocating or vacationing, RE/MAX Journey agents have the tools and experience to help you to go from sale to sold. That's why no one sells more homes than RE/MAX. Don't worry, they've done this a million times. Download the new RE/MAX app today. Visit the local RE/MAX Journey team at 121 Laurel Drive in Rutherford, or call them at 828-395-2222.
Each office independently owned and operated.
Stopped by my friend over at Joy's Bridal recently at the Tri-City Mall. Hadn't seen Joe in a while. Yeah, there it is. Stopped by the Joy's in the Tri-City Mall. So impressed with the inventory she has there. For brides attendants, clothes for the groom as well. Joy has been in this business a long time, and she knows what it takes to make you happy, and she's not happy until you are. So why don't you go by and look around and see what you can find. Even if you don't have a wedding to go to, they got some nice clothes in there. Speaking of jewelry, they got a lot of those too. Plenty of beautiful and stylish jewelry for any occasion. If it's been a while since you have been in Joy's, it's worth a look around. Why don't you visit with Joy's Bridal today? They make your utility payment over there, your credit card payment over there, or whatever payment you have that you've been mailing it in, take it over there and they'll take care of it. Joy's Bridal, open 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 4:30 on Saturdays. You'll be glad you shopped at home, and you'll be glad you rediscovered Joy's Bridal in the Tri-City Mall. Braves baseball this afternoon, or this evening, early this evening, we have a game with the Cubs. They have beaten the Cubs twice already. Monday 8-7. Yesterday they shut them out 5-0. And maybe they found a mojo or a team they can beat. One of the two. So let's hope they keep that winning streak up. Today we'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6. The first pitch is at 7:20. If you still need a Braves pocket schedule, we have plenty of those here. So stop by and pick up as many as you want. We'll be glad to share those with you for the Braves season. That's right. And we're happy to have the Braves on a regular schedule for a change. Deputy Greenway was with us earlier this morning via telephone to give us a report from the Sheriff's Department. We recorded that for broadcast at this time. And here it is, Deputy Greenway.
Okay, in the past 24 hours, we've responded to 136 calls for service. We've made 13 arrests, and there's currently 138 in the jail. With our arrest reports, Destiny England was arrested for possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver a Schedule II controlled substance. Dion Cash was arrested for failure to appear on a felony and a misdemeanor. James Alexander was arrested for failure to appear on felony and misdemeanor. Thomas Green was arrested for breaking and entering and felony larceny. Brandon Burgess was arrested for felony probation violations, failure to appear on misdemeanor. Joshua Adam Price was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And Leanne Craig was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. We've got an incident report reported by Mia Bradley for identity theft and obtaining property by false pretense, and that completes the morning report.
Friends don't let friends tune to any other radio station. Good friends recommend WCAB. Shouldn't you be a good friend?
Hit to make good for the Stars captain, feeling like he got the better, or Ben getting the better of him in their previous matchup on Monday night when Ben had the big game. Stahl talking last night after being asked about Ben being the bane of his existence and the source of his inspired play.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Benn's a great player, and he got the best of me yesterday, and I didn't go home feeling all that great. So it's happy to have a better effort. I'm happy with the way we went tonight.
Sebastian Aho had a goal and 2 helpers for the Hurricanes, who improved to 32-10-7 on the season. They continue to lead the Central Division, 2 points ahead of the Florida Panthers, who beat the Predators last night. And the Carolina Hurricanes, 71 points, is now best in the NHL. Off to the NBA now we go, where the Charlotte Hornets fell short on their chance to earn a season sweep of one of the NBA's top teams, as the Milwaukee Bucks held off the Hornets 114-104 last night in Charlotte. It ended the Hornets' 2-game win streak. Head coach James Borrego, though, not too hard on his squad after the game.
I love the way our guys competed tonight, against one of the top teams in the NBA again. Very good second half. Our offense, our ball movement was better there in the second half overall. We lost our way a little bit second quarter, I think, with our ball movement and body movement. I didn't like the shot quality there in the second quarter, and it cost us. But second half, we stuck with it. The resiliency was there. I think overall our competitive spirit was there. We had 2 shots to cut it to 1. We had 2 great looks from there. Give them credit. They're a heck of a team. They made some plays down the stretch. They made a couple and we missed a couple. So overall, I thought very pleased with the effort there in the second half, especially.
This is NCN Sports.
Hey, I'm Katie Webster with North Carolina Emergency Management. Severe weather can happen throughout the year in North Carolina. You can protect yourself and your loved ones by being prepared. Have a family emergency plan. Assemble an emergency kit with a 3-day supply of non-perishable food and water. Download an emergency alert app, have a weather alert radio, and listen to local weather reports. Go to readync.org for more severe weather safety tips. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Are you ready to kick off your next boating or fishing adventure? Then head over to the Wilmington Spring Boat Show. It's happening this weekend at the Mayfair Town Center off Military Cutoff Road. The show opens at 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, and admission is free. You can browse more than 60 new boats on display from local dealers. Experience the latest engine technology from Mercury Marine, or enjoy a fishing seminar from a local guide. Visit springboatshow.com for more info. That's springboatshow.com.
Major League Baseball says 70% of players on field, staff, and support personnel have been fully or partially vaccinated for the coronavirus. The NHL, meanwhile, is preparing for contingency plans if virus restrictions in Canada prevent travel between provinces or back and forth in the U.S. during the playoffs. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman calls the situation widely unpredictable and says the league will make whatever adjustments necessary to get the playoffs completed. Right now, the Canadian teams are in a division where they're playing only each other. The Milwaukee Bucks are offering COVID vaccinations to fans attending games Sunday against the Brooklyn Nets. Boston pro sports teams could be playing in front of full capacity crowds by August. That's according to the new Massachusetts COVID-19 reopening guidelines. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Our warming trend is in progress this week. We are going to see highs today head into the mid to upper 80s. With strong winds moving in out of the southwest, it's going to be breezy at times. We are going to see a few clouds around to start, but expect partly cloudy conditions by the afternoon. Overnight will fall into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow will be warmer and windy, with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Some areas could get really close to the record high. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It is now 63 degrees on this wonderful Wednesday morning, 63 degrees and climbing. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program this morning, here is Mark Morris.
Good morning, and thank you again for joining us. This is Mark with Word of Faith Fellowship, and today we have a special program. We're going to share with you about what it is to serve Jesus in nursing. And today I have 3 nurses with me from the Word of Faith Fellowship, and they're going to share with you about their lives, their everyday lives of what they do, and all 3 of them have diversity in the nursing field. But one thing they have that they share in common is that they love Jesus, and they recognize that the nursing job they have is a call from God on their life, and that's how they treat it. And they love their patients, and they pray and ask God to lead them, and it really is an amazing testimony to think about the field of nursing and how much it is the call of God on these nurses' lives, what they go through every day, and what a blessing they are, even in this last pandemic that we've been in the middle of, how much nurses have laid down their lives for us. So today, I believe you'll be encouraged to hear about what God has them doing in the nursing field. So we're going to start with Chris. Chris, you have some variety of things that you've done and you're doing now. So first share with us about a little bit about your background in nursing and what you're doing currently.
Sure, Mark. I'll kind of go back and start back all the way in 1998. I started actually a nursing program. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my wife and I had been married a year. And so we had just bought a house. We just moved to a big city. I was working, and I wasn't able to finish the program. You know, it just, the way it worked out, needed to raise a family, wasn't able to finish. But just thinking about the program this morning and thinking about serving God in nursing, a couple scriptures have come to me. One of them I wanted to read was Romans 11:29, and it talks about the gift and the calling of God. It says, "For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable, for he does not withdraw what he has given, nor does he change his mind about those to whom he gives his grace."
Yes.
And there's definitely a grace that God has given the healthcare workers. You know, I think
definitely.
for anybody's job, but
Absolutely.
for healthcare workers, especially in the last year,
Yes.
what we've seen. But I share that scripture, you know, and it also says, "Or to whom he sends his call." And that's what I felt from a young age, that God's called me into nursing, and I wanted to go that direction, but wasn't able to fulfill it. All the way up to 1998 to 2012 was when God allowed me to go back to school to become a nurse.
Right.
And so I went back to school, and I started working as an LPN in a state facility that worked with profoundly disabled patients, severe autism, Down syndrome, and I absolutely loved working that job, taking care of the disabled population. But then God gave me an opportunity to get my registered nurse degree. That was in 2016. And interestingly enough, you don't just jump into critical care, but God had a position for me, and I started working in the intensive care unit right out of school. So working with people that are ventilated, people that are severely sick. You know, they call it intense for a reason. I mean, it's a very, very critical care position, and I was very fortunate, very grateful. And interestingly enough, you know, kind of history about me, back in college, I made some very bad decisions. Ended up in the ER twice, from where I attempted to take my life before I knew Jesus. And actually 3 times. The third time, I ended up in the intensive care unit. So from that place and where God brought me here to the Word of Faith Fellowship, and I got deliverance and God changed my life. From that place, God's changed my heart, you know.
Great.
And, you know, now I take care of people that are in the same position, you know, people that have tried to end their life, people that are hopeless, people that are, you know, severely sick. And I get to share with them. One thing as a nurse you can do is you have the opportunity at people at their worst, you know, and a lot of people are at the point where they're ready to turn their hearts to God. Some of them aren't, you know, and that's sad.
Right.
But nevertheless, my job as a nurse is not only to meet the needs of the patient, but also to meet their spiritual needs. You know, it's a gift and calling that God's
really is.
Put us there, and you get to share hope, you get to share the love of God with them, and sometimes it's just spending that extra moment in the room. Sometimes it's, you know, sharing about where God's changed my life and that there's hope for them. You know, Mark, you don't just, there's just not a certain population that ends up in intensive care. I've taken care of the homeless all the way to the wealthiest people in the county. You know, it's not like it's, you know, discriminatory process. It's just, if you're sick, you're sick.
That's right.
And so, you know, I'm grateful for the opportunity to take care of people. It's really been interesting over the last year. We've seen an unprecedented, with the COVID, you know, unprecedented events, you know, from not only the sickness and the level of sickness that these people are experiencing, but not being able to have their families. And so in a sense, we've become their families. These people are there 2, 3, 4 weeks to 2 to 3 months.
Right.
And so, and not only are you there taking care of the patient, you're also there to take care of the family, you know. And so you're reaching out to both sides, trying to bring comfort to both sides of the family.
You in those situations, Chris, do you act as a communicator between the family and the patient? You're the one who informs the family how their family member's doing and so forth.
At every point during the night, before, try to about 10 o'clock, I try to call and update the family. If there's any adverse events through the night, of course, we call.
Right.
And then unfortunately, sometimes you have to call the family into the bedside, you know, when things aren't going too well.
Right.
And so, but it's an opportunity to share the love of God and to reach out to them. It's not always, you're not always preaching the gospel, scriptures, giving all this, but just being there for someone, giving an arm, a hug, an ear to listen, and that's what's important. Another area, cause in scripture I was kind of thinking about was in Luke 10 and the Good Samaritan. And if you're familiar with the story, several passed by and ignored the man that was sick in the ditch that had been beaten almost to the point of death.
Right.
But there was something in that Samaritan, that good man, that stopped, and he was compelled. The Bible says that he was compelled with pity and sympathy, and that love of God that was in him to bind up his wounds and to take care of him, and then to take him to someone, when he couldn't. Right. And even now, a lot of families I still keep in contact with, and they'll send me pictures, the ones that have made it out of the COVID. And they'll send me pictures, how well they're doing, and that's really encouraging, because a lot haven't made it through. It's been a trying time. Right. It's been, like I said, unprecedented. It's been horrific. It's, when it first came out, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know, we weren't allowed to go in the room. When you're in intensive care, a lot of times you're in the room and you don't leave the room for 6-8 hours taking care of a patient. But they were trying to restrict how much you go in, and of course you had all your gowns, which can be frightening for the patient too. You're covered in gowns and masks and everything.
Right.
But like I said, being able to pray with the patients, being able to share the hope, of God with them, it's been an awesome opportunity. And like I said, being able to share with people where I've been, and that God saved my life and spared my life and brought me into this calling, and I can share that hope with those people that have been overdosed or withdrawing from alcohol. Say, hey, listen, I've been there, and you can come out.
Right.
Some of them listen, some of them weep. We weep together, and others are like, oh, okay, and they reject it. And
did you see during the time of restriction, when they can't have family members and visitors, did you see there was more of a need for the patients to have interaction with somebody?
Absolutely.
And so did you see anything where you had to fill that spot? I mean, they didn't have a family member sitting right next to them.
Absolutely. Spending that time in there, sometimes you're not able to. Being in the intensive care, you've got other things that need to be done, but when you have a time, getting at that bedside, holding someone's hand, giving them a sip of water, that's what, like in Matthew 25, as another scripture that I had, when Jesus is talking about those on his right hand, when you visited me in prison, when I was naked, you clothed me, and it says, I was sick, and you visited me with help and ministering care. That's exactly what we do as nurses. We're helpers, we're ministers of care. Like I said, through touch, through the actual words. A lot of times they're unconscious, but I feel like being there, talking to them. Some of the patients, they love to sing, and so we'll sing a hymn. I'll say, well, what's your favorite hymn? Let's sing it, especially when things aren't going so well. To help bring the peace of God and the presence of God into the room, staying calm and staying in that peace of God in yourself.
Right.
But bringing that to the patient and bringing that to the bedside. It's the hands and feet of Jesus. It's the love of God in our hearts and the compelling, and there's a grace that's there. It's been unprecedented over the last year, but the grace of God has been there to be where I need to be at the bedside.
And Chris, we just have 1 minute left before we move on to the next nurse, but would you just tell what you're doing right now? I know you recently had a change.
Yeah. So I just finished orientation. I'm actually a virtual critical care nurse now. And so I actually support the bedside nurse. A lot of hospitals are set up with EICU. And so basically the nurse needs help. She hits a button on the wall and I'm on the screen. But in that, I was a little concerned at first. Hey, I'm not going to be right there at the bedside, but I get to make rounds every 2 hours. I camera in the room, and I get to fellowship, talk with the inpatient, still get to encourage them.
Right.
But it's still to be a support for the bedside nurse. So it's a kind of a new field. It's only been around about 8 years, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
That's great, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing. Very powerful, and your testimony is very powerful. How God's changed your life, and here you are, a nurse now. You were helped by nurses. They helped save your life. When you try to take your life, and now you're helping save others. So thank you, Chris, so much for sharing that. And so we're going to have the next nurse join us, Annalena. And Annalena has actually a very big variety of nursing background. When we talked, I was shocked at all of the different things. Seems like you've done just about anything that you could think of. So would you just share with us first, Annalena, a little bit about your background? It's amazing how God led you into all these different backgrounds. I know you got to touch people's lives and all the things you did. So give us a little nutshell of your background.
I was born in Sweden, and as a little girl, I remember someone asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I answered, and I know God put that in my heart. I'm going to be a nurse. And like Chris said, the gift and callings are irrevocable.
That's right.
I tried to sway away from it, doing what I wanted to do, but God led me back to be a desire in my heart to help people. And as a 15-year-old girl, I started to work in skilled nursing, an assisted living facility as a CNA between summer break. When I was 18, I got my licensed practical nurse, and I worked in many various fields of nursing in Sweden. In 2000, I came here, and I actually started over again. I started to work as a sitter, and then I got my license and a licensed practical nurse. And then I got my RN license, and most recently my 4-year degree of nursing, bachelor degree in nursing.
Okay.
What I have done, I worked in assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities. I have worked in bedside nursing, visiting home care nursing. I worked in mother-baby, surgical units, medical units, orthopedic units, the operating room, and some behavioral health, and some in ICU like Chris, but also in the emergency room. And all I can say, I mean, I've been a nurse for worked in the medical field for 39 years. And I am so grateful because I met thousands and thousands and thousands of people I would not have met if I did not do what God wanted me to do in nursing. And what I have seen, I've seen people from different walks of life, like Chris said, the homeless, the unlovable, the people that have everything together, people that are in high places, people like you, like me, like anyone. Anyone can be sick.
Right.
But what I see is that God cares for each one of them.
Yes.
And just this week when I walked into a patient's room, that was not even my patient, I just walked in there. We started to talk, and this patient said, I don't have a vehicle anymore. Through her situation, they brought her to the hospital. She did not have a means of transport. And we started to talk, and I said, I will pray for you. And she got tears in her eyes, and she said, thank you. And we ended up praying right there. And she said, I usually don't pray for myself, but thank you so much for taking time and pray for me. That means so much to me.
That's great.
And that was just last week, and I mean, it has been happening over and over again. Like Chris said, we are ministers of help. Our hands, our mouth, not just words, but if they need something, a glass of water, a drink, something. Last year, like Chris mentioned, I worked with COVID patients. And to be in a hospital room all by yourself, not having your family there, like Chris said, it's so important to talk to someone. I remember over and over, I walked into a patient's room and I felt the fear. I saw the fear in their eyes. And I said, how are you doing? And I said, I don't know if I'm coming out. I don't know if I ever will make it out of this room. And I just was stopping, encouraging them. What God had taught me, what God had taught us, don't stop fighting. Whatever situation you are, don't stop fighting. If you pray, God help me in my situation right now. Be honest, I'm afraid. What do I need to do? And so many times by sharing examples of thinking about your family. You will see them again. Do we need to make a phone call? What can I do for you? And just by that, sometimes when I left the room, the fear in their eyes were gone, and I could see a hope that it's not over.
Right.
I can come out of here.
Right.
God can help me. And just it's a blessing. I am encouraged. I am blessed to be a helper.
What do you do right now?
Right now I work in endoscopy. That is in a hospital, and that is under the surgery because we do use anesthesia. We look in people's stomachs from the upside and from down, and to see what is going on.
Right.
And I see the patient before the procedure, I help the patient during the procedure, and then I'm with them when they recover.
Right.
And even there was a sat at the patient's bedside when the doctor came in and gave very poor prognosis to this patient. And you could tell the patient understood that she was maybe not be able to live many more months. The family member with her thought everything was going to be okay. And I so felt that God loved all of us, but I so felt the love of God for this young couple.
Right.
And I held her hand, I looked at her, and I said, whatever you do, God is there to help you. I told the man, are you going to church? He said, yes. I said, talk to your pastor, talk to your friends. They can help pray with you,
Right.
and see what you can do in your situation.
Right. You know, you shared about your time going in-home care, and I think you did that for quite a while. Tell us a little bit about that. I know that's sort of different than being in the hospital. You're actually going to the home. You're spending a lot of time with these people. You probably get to know them very well. Tell us about that, and maybe some things that Jesus did in your heart or Jesus did through you to help these people at home.
When you go into a home as a visiting home care nurse, you never know what you're going to see. But it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your house look like. It doesn't matter if you have the most beautiful house or if you live where you have to walk over the hole in the house. God cares about you.
Right.
And that's when I felt when I walked into people's homes. God cares about you. And then just take that time and stop and ask them, how are you doing? What do you need? And many times in the hospital and in home care, I know God led me to ask certain questions or just stay and listen. And so many people told me things they never told to anyone else. Things they have carried for years.
Right.
And they told me, and through that I could be there, listen, but more than that, just see how I can give them help even outside of the hospital system. It's not just medicine. It's not just doing the medical care.
Right.
It's about what do you need?
Yes.
What do you need to your spiritual man, to your soul, to your physical situation? And it's a challenge because you never know. All of us are different with individual needs. And it's encouraging to see how God can lead me and us nurses to see how we can be a blessing, to see what God wants for that person in that situation.
Right. And as you just said, God does lead us. And as a nurse, I know that's so important for you. I know asking God, what can I do to help this person? What can I do to comfort this person? And God knows best.
Yes,
He knows way beyond us. And so it's great to hear you share that too. So Annalena, thank you so much for sharing. Very powerful. I'm so glad that you're in the call of God in your life. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so we have one nurse left. LaToya is going to share with us about what God has her doing. She's actually been in the same field of nursing for 10 years now. Is that right? So LaToya, tell us about what you do.
So I like to start back as a young child. God had put in my heart to be a nurse. I always enjoyed helping people, whether it was tying their shoes, getting them something to drink, helping them get dressed, watching their children. And I started crying out and asking God, you know, what is your will for my life? What career do you have for me? And He spoke to my heart that He wanted me to go into nursing. And I've always felt like that is such the call of God on my life. I truly enjoy helping people. It brings me such gratification every day to go into work. I currently work on an orthopedic unit, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. And when I go into work every day, it's a little bit different case each morning. Sometimes I have people that are elderly, they live alone, they've fallen and they've broken their hip or other bones. And then other times I have elective procedures where patients have scheduled to have their knee replaced or their hip replaced or their shoulder. And then other times I have patients that have been in car accidents. So it was unexpected. They're out of work. They can't take care of themselves. They have children at home. And that's really hard for them.
Right.
So I know that I'm there to show them love and to show them patience and to take care of them. And I like to read a scripture in 1 Corinthians 3:10. And it says, God gives each of us a special endowment for our task and the grace to carry it out. And God gives me the grace every day. And I know especially with those who have had drug backgrounds, it takes a lot of patience to deal with them. And one of my traits is I'm very patient, very kind. So a lot of times I will be assigned to the patients that are more complex cases that need a little extra attention, that need a little extra care, that need a little extra time spent with them. And I wouldn't trade that for anything because it teaches me how to hear the voice of God. How can I communicate with the patient to make sure their needs are met? How can I talk to the doctor to see how we can make their stay better? Because a lot of times these patients do have tolerance to opioids. They don't follow the same pain medication schedule as maybe our other patient population. So it's so important to understand and believe the best of every person. And with patients that are from that background, you really have to believe the best. You have to believe maybe they are hurting. Maybe their pain is more severe to them than another patient I've had. And I wanted to read in 1 Corinthians 13, it's actually verses 1 through 7, but the main point says, love endures long, it's patient, and it's kind, and it believes the best of every person. The love never fades out. And God has been teaching me that if I have that in my heart, I'm never going to get frustrated. I'm never going to get impatient. I'm always going to want to help people no matter what. And another thing that means so much to me in nursing is being able to hear God's voice. And sometimes God will speak to me in this little still voice, you need to do this or you need to do that. And I remember this one example where I had a patient, she just said, I'm not really feeling well today. She looked fine, her vital signs were fine, and I just kept watching her. And she said, I don't feel well, I don't know what's wrong. And she started getting a little nauseous, and I really heard the voice of God inside say, you need to call the doctor and just ask him to come and take a look at her just to be sure she's okay, even though she looks okay. And that still small voice that spoke to me saved her life. It ended up when the doctors came in the room to check her out, she ended up having a heart attack while we were all in the room. And because the doctor was there and other nurses from the intensive care came to help me, she was able to have access to emergency medications that she needed right then. And it saved her life. And I'm eternally grateful that God can speak to me, that I can hear his voice, because it's not just about my life, it's about the life of the patients every day that I help. And another scripture that I wanted to read was in John 5:30. And it says, I am able to do nothing from myself, independently of my own accord, but only as I am taught by God. And each day, that's my heart's cry, is God, teach me. I don't know how to do this, but you do. And I just go in that morning saying, Jesus, how can I help these patients? What can I do? Teach me, Jesus. And it's like fresh manna every day. No day is ever the same. And it goes on to say, even as I hear, I judge. I decide as I am bidden to decide. As the voice comes to me, so I give a decision. And I never have to have fear because Jesus is going to speak to me. And he's going to tell me what to do. And it says, then my judgment is right, just, righteous, because I do not seek or consult my own will. I have no desire to do what is pleasing to myself, my own aim, my own purpose, but only the will and pleasure of the Father who sent me. And that's how I want to be. I want to do what Jesus has called me to do. I want to be in his will every day. And I know another area that God speaks to me is that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And whatever I say to my patients, it needs to bring life. You know, there's no room for doubt and unbelief. You know, I'm there to uplift these people, to bring them hope, things that they may not hear. A lot of them live alone. They have no encouragement. They have no support. And I'm accountable to God to give them those words of life.
And I was thinking about that, how important that is. You're in the orthopedic unit. These are people recovering from orthopedic surgeries. Is that right? What kind of surgeries are they recovering from in your unit usually?
Some of them, like I had mentioned earlier, they have car accidents, so they have multiple bone fractures. So it's a little more traumatic for them. Others is more of a scheduled surgery. It's more elective, where they want to have their joints replaced, their hips, knees, shoulders. So they're expecting pain. But then I have the others where it's a traumatic injury, and it's totally rearranged their life.
Okay. So in your role there, you mentioned about managing their pain.
Yes.
Is that primarily what you do, is oversee their recovery, their pain, and so forth, and make sure their health is okay? And so and I'm sure with what you say, it is so important, because these are people who go through major surgeries, the pain level's high, they're probably feeling things that they haven't felt before ever in their life, and they've got to get up and do the therapy and all that. And so I just think that's great that you recognize you've got to say something that's going to encourage these people. They're probably having thoughts that are the opposite, you know, oh, the pain, and am I going to ever feel better? And so I love that you share that. I could see how important that is.
Yes. And when I come in the morning, it's, oh, we've got to do this today. And it's like, no, we're going to have a good day. We are going to have a little schedule. Your pain is going to be controlled, and I'm here to help you. And just starting their day with positivity, it means so much to them, and it pulls them out of the I can't, and they start to see they can, and it's very rewarding.
Oh, and that is so good. You know, I was thinking about how much Jesus cared for the sick when he was here walking the face of the earth. Isn't it amazing how throughout the Gospels you read so much about how he healed people? Yes. It really is in every single Gospel. When you read it, there is so much spent on healing the sick, and it's amazing how Jesus cares about the sick. Yes. And I love thinking about nurses, how you all are the hands, the feet, the heart of Jesus, because Jesus did that when he was here, and here it is, God has you doing that, and the other nurses we heard from, all of you are doing what Jesus did. You have this technology, you went to school and you're trained, and you have the science, and therefore, but you have the heart of Jesus, and that's what you take to these people, and that's what really helps them inside. And I think that is just so wonderful. I appreciate everything you do every day, and I appreciate all the nurses, and I just want to thank everybody for listening. Isn't it so good to think about the nurses that have laid down their lives for us? And I know I'm so grateful for each and every nurse that is walking in the call on their life. And so we're out of time, but I hope you will continue to join us. We're on this program Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. Thank you very much.
WCAB. The president is also expected to call for free community college for all Americans, and he wants to make permanent the temporary extension of the Affordable Care Act, which is allowing millions of Americans to pay lower premiums during the pandemic.
ABC's Ike Kajachi in Washington. The CDC issuing new guidelines for mask wearing in public outdoor areas. It's supposed to be okay to take off the face covering if you're fully vaccinated. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says the United States is sending additional supplies to India, a country pushed to the brink by COVID cases. New York Times South Asia Bureau Chief Jeffrey Gettleman is in Delhi.
These cremation grounds that usually dispose of a few bodies every day are totally overwhelmed. They're setting up sites next to the official cremation grounds in empty lots and parking lots and parks. And they're lighting on fire dozens of bodies at once.
Cases topping 300,000 per day, deaths more than 200,000 at this point. The Supreme Court hearing a case today involving a high school student who, after she didn't make the cheerleading squad, put an expletive-laced tirade about her school on social media. She was off school grounds, but the school banned her from extracurricular activities anyway, so she sued. ABC News legal analyst Kate Shaw.
I think this is a hard case because we don't want schools to be monitoring their students' social media presences, 24/7 and disciplining them for things that they happen to say to friends on social media. So that seems problematic. On the other hand, it seems really troubling that schools would be powerless to discipline students for things like bullying.
Arguments get underway in about an hour. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Democrats on Capitol Hill today moving ahead with a measure to reinstate limits on methane emissions from oil and gas fields. Those limits were relaxed during the Trump administration. Environmentalists criticized the move, saying methane is a potent greenhouse gas. The hearing is set for today on a request to release body cam video from the deadly police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. in North Carolina. A private autopsy shows he was hit 5 times, including a fatal shot that hit him on the back of the head. The FBI has opened a civil rights investigation. Police in Virginia hunting for a killer who opened fire at an apartment complex, killing one person, leaving several children, including a baby, hurt.
5 people shot, all females, in the courtyard of a Richmond apartment complex.
It's just a heinous act that baffles the mind.
Police Chief Gerald Smith saying the victims were 2 adult women, one of them dead, and 2 teens plus a 3-month-old baby girl in serious condition, all shot outside.
Why would anyone do this in a quad full of children out enjoying themselves?
Investigators think the intended target was likely a specific apartment and not those who were shot. They're asking for tips from the community. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Citizen Kane no longer rated 100 at Rotten Tomatoes, citing a 1941 review in the Chicago Tribune that says the movie's, quote, sacrifice of simplicity to eccentricity robs it of distinction. Rotten Tomatoes has now dinged Citizen Kane 1 point for that, down to 99. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're